Steal away. Shh, baby. Shh. Shh. She says quietly as she wakes up her daughter. It's 3 a.m. What's wrong, Mama? Her daughter asks as she rubs her eyes. Baby, we've got to go. Grab your dolly and let's go, okay? But you have to be very, very quiet, okay, sweetheart? Tracy walks over to her daughter's closet and hurriedly crams as much clothing as possible into a small duffel bag she has with her. Mama? Yeah, sweetie? What is on your eye? Tracy pauses for a second and looks back at her daughter. The light reveals a large bruise covering her left eye. It's a fresh black eye and it shines with perspiration. It's just a bruise, honey. Don't worry about it. It'll be all right. Let's go, okay? We're gonna go to Grandma's for a little while. What about Daddy? Daddy's gonna stay here because he has to work, remember? Will he come visit us at Grandma's? No, baby. We're not gonna see Daddy for a long time. Just please trust me and grab your favorite toys while I get the rest of your clothes, okay? Okay, Mama. Tracy turns back into the closet and puts her daughter's underwear, socks, and shoes into the duffel bag. There isn't much room left. There won't be any room for Tracy's things, but that's okay. She can always wear her mother's clothes until she can afford to buy her own. She has about $2,000 in the joint savings account. If she stops along the way, she can probably get to it before Blake notices they're gone, but that's only if they can get out of this alive. So many things could go wrong. Maggie could start crying, Blake could wake up at any second, they could drop something on the way out, the car could stall. Hey, honey, do you want your black or white pajamas? Tracy says as she turns from the closet for the first time in a few minutes. Maggie is nowhere to be seen. Shit. She rushes for the door and peers into the hallway. Maggie? She whispers. She tiptoes and peeks into the bathroom but doesn't find Maggie. She looks over the railing into the foyer but still no Maggie. As she turns around, she is shocked to find Blake standing behind her holding Maggie under his arm. Looking for something, Trace? He asks as he grabs her by the elbow hard. Maggie tells me you're going to your mother's. Didn't think to invite me? He asks. I'm sorry, Blake. I'm so sorry. It was stupid. I wasn't thinking. Please don't hurt her. She didn't know. Tracy pleads with her husband. I'm not going to hurt her, Tracy. She had nothing to do with it. He sits Maggie down and pats her on her head. Go back to bed, sweetie. I'll be in a second to tuck you in. Okay, Daddy, Maggie says as she slinks back to bed. As for you, Blake says, turning his focus back to his wife. Trying to steal away in the night and take my daughter from me, huh? You stupid slut! I'm sorry, honey. Please don't hurt me, Tracy begs. Blake jerks her arm with all of his force and throws her down the stairs. Tracy tumbles over herself a few times and comes to a landing on the hard wooden floor. Blake made such a fuss about it when the contractor couldn't get the hypoallergenic faux wood he had wanted. Tracy tries to collect herself and stands up, maybe find a weapon to protect herself, but Blake comes rushing down the stairs before she can even muster the energy to pull herself up. Please, Blake, Tracy whimpers as Blake crashes down on her and punches her in her chest, her stomach, and her mouth. Please! Blake drags Tracy to the kitchen by her ankles. Tracy is too exhausted and defeated to even attempt to fight back. She accepts her fate. She had one chance to get out with Maggie, and she blew it. Well, technically, Maggie blew it by waking up her fucking father. Stupid little bitch doesn't even know she's gonna cost her mother her life. I hope it fucks her up in therapy, Tracy thinks. Maybe she's a bad person for thinking it, but she's pretty sure she's about to die, so who gives a fuck? She spent 10 years in this abusive marriage. She's ready to go. She's prepared to die. She turns her head just in time to see Blake grab a steak knife from the butcher block on the counter and insert it deep into her right temple. Her last thought, just before Blake ends her life, was, "Good luck cleaning this one up, fucker." End. Profanity and Profanity Accessories. In 2016, Hillary Clinton was elected to be the first female president of the United States of America, giving the Democratic Party a third consecutive term in the White House. President Clinton was a productive president, but her policies and polarizing personality drove a deeper wedge in the already precipitous divide between the right and the left of the country. Even though a majority polled thought that things were continuing in the right direction, Mrs. Clinton lost her re-election bid in 2020 in the primary to the cantankerous and seriously ailing Bernie Sanders of Vermont. The senator had challenged her in 2016 and lost miserably, yet stayed in to the bitter end just for some delegates to be written in the history books. Somehow, Bernie Sanders was able to win his second go-around even though he was knocking on heaven's door. In the first 30 days of President Sanders' administration, he converted the American government from capitalism to socialism. Since he was elected with over 80% of the vote, Congress had no way to stop him, just as he and his supporters believed would happen in 2016. Then, they were laughed at for their retardation, but look at what actually happened when the old coot got into office. Quickly, and I mean rapidly, within 4 hours of signing the bill making the USA a socialist nation, Bernie Sanders had a massive coronary and died on the spot. As a peace move to appeal to independent voters and Republicans, Sanders had picked former California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger as his vice president. Of course, the Constitution prohibited the governor from taking over because he wasn't born in the United States, and we certainly weren't going to let Nancy Pelosi be the president. Anyway, to make a long fucking story short, Congress appointed none other than the ghost of Ronald Reagan to run the Oval Office. And why not? He was a great president as far as the Republicans are concerned. Well, Ronald Reagan was a classic gentleman who believed cursing was the work of the devil. So, on his third day in office, he signed into law the Profanity and Profanity Accessories bill, which outlawed all profanities unless a citizen pays for the swear word usage. And that's where I come in. Hi. I'm Johnny Mack, and I'm so sorry for this long commercial right in the middle of what I assume is your favorite program. Unfortunately, I have to buy out 10 commercial blocks to get all of this information out. Anyway, let's say you want to use the classic F word all the time. Well, for 50 cents, you can say it once. We give you a card you have to present at all times when you say curse words. That's another thing. Everyone has to carry around hole punches now. Wanna cuss? Here are the steps in today's America. Number 1, buy between 1 and unlimited swear word usage. Number 2, when you're ready to swear, hold up your swear card. Number 3, someone, the person you're swearing at, a passerby, or someone eavesdropping will then punch your card. Number 4, you may use your card until it's punched to completion, then you must incinerate it. So come on down to Mack's Cussin joint where we sell Profanity and Profanity Accessories.
I will now tell you about our exciting offers for this month in accordance with President Ghost Reagan's laws.
For limited time only, you can get unlimited use of the words dick, cock, and pussy for one low payment of $69.69. Today only, we are offering a discounted 6-use cunt card for $199.99. Come in Labor Day weekend where you can get all the racial slurs for one low price of $9.99.
We think these are so low because Ghost Reagan is racist as fuck.
Stop in and see us soon. Thank you for listening to this long-ass commercial, and don't forget, we sell hole punches. Don't let the Cuss Brigade cops catch you without a hole punch. You will be put to sleep. Now back to your show. The Lemon Twister. Marcus the Lemon Twister rolls his cart down the road looking for a town to set up shop. His lemons are grown in fertile soil. Fertile because it's spread with an even layer of all sorts of semen samples. Marcus comes on it, Lemoyne comes on it, Marcus's mom, lattice-cut pepperoni pizza, comes on it. Marcus also buys local bull, turkey, and owl semen for their various benefits and traits. All this semen makes for a very bitter, very salty, unbelievable tasting lemonade. People go nuts for it. He'd clean up in a town for 3 or 4 weeks and then he'd move on. Strike while the iron's hot is what his dad had always said to him. His mom also told him to leave while you're winning, something like that related to gambling. Usually what his mom said was less important and uninteresting. Marcus rolls his cart into a small town that he's never heard of before. He hadn't really noticed it forming. He'd been pulling the cart slowly down a dirt road past 2 or 3 houses spread out over the first mile or so, but eventually the small town clumped up into a one stoplight intersection. He decides to stand opposite the town's fountain after a series of thoughts that lead him to realize the fountain would be beautiful to see but annoying to stand near. He isn't sure what the name of the town or even the road is, but there is a Dollar General, a used bookstore, the pharmacy, and a bed and breakfast, all surrounded by dilapidated houses. As Marcus begins twisting his salted cum lemons grown in fertile soil, a dog barks in the distance. He drips some sweat into the lemonade. Good. Marcus twists his lemon a few more times before depositing a load of fresh Marcus semen into the mix, swirling it around and putting it in the cooler in his cart. Marcus hoists and opens the umbrella attached to his cart, which, when unfurled, reveals a big monkey holding 2 lemons sign that has a flashing open button. It won't be long before Marcus sells his first batch and starts a 3 to 4 week phenomenon. Marcus wonders if he'll stay in the bed and breakfast or if one of the local people might take him in for a time. He'll surely make enough money to make something happen, but he doesn't mind sleeping under the stars either, especially with the fountain in the distance. At night, it's like a white noise machine, but to stand near it would be annoying, but it is beautiful to look at. A little old lady exits the used bookstore with a copy of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. She walks right up to Marcus and orders a glass of lemonade after asking if it is served cold. Marcus assures her it is, pauses time for a second, comes in her glass, then unpauses time, gives her the glass of lemonade, and sends her on her way. Marcus knows the secret to good lemonade is how fresh it is and how fertile the soil was. To Marcus, fertile soil is all about the cum, because after all, how else do you judge fertility but semen? Marcus believes that the more fresh semen introduced into the lemonade, the better the ultimate product will be. Do you know why that canned Minute Maid lemonade is so fucking disgusting? It's because they don't cum in it, according to Marcus. If they would come into the Minute Maid, or if someone were to come into their can of Minute Maid before drinking it, according to Marcus, that would make it a better lemonade. Judging by the lady's reaction to her glass of lemonade, she promptly guzzles the entire glass, leaving drip marks down her jowls and chin. Marcus is right about the semen in the lemonade. The lady marches back up to the lemon twister's stand and demands to know his secret. Marcus tells the lady that it's a company secret, but since she is so curious and is such a fan of the product, he will give her a free cup of the ice-cold stuff. She happily obliges because it is the best goddamn lemonade she has ever had, and she wants to slurp up and savor every bit of that delicious nectar. Marcus pours a glass of the absolutely fertile lemonade and does his usual magic of pausing the fabric of time to tug his penis and produce a load of wet hot cum to dump in the glass of lemonade, drop a few ice cubes in, swigs it around, unpauses time, and gives the woman her second glass of lemonade. The woman takes the glass from Marcus like an animal, growls, tosses her head back, and drinks the whole glass in one gulp. She demands more lemonade from Marcus. This was the part Marcus always especially enjoyed, when they become particularly ravenous. Marcus pauses the fabric of time and climbs on top of his cart. Marcus opens the lady's mouth and deposits a fresh load of semen, which means that yes, he got his penis erect and fiddled with it and came inside her mouth. Then he squeezes 6 fresh lemons in her mouth, pours 2 cups of sugar in, then fills her mouth with the water of a hose. She won't get to taste this lemonade, but when he unpauses time, she'll get like 30 seconds to choke on it, and that'll be something, right? He unpauses time and the lady comes instantly because the lemonade was so intense and so goddamn good that it just defied all logic and sensation that woman had ever experienced, that she had no recourse but to come in her pants. She is embarrassed, but Marcus wastes no time. He knows that this was the prime lemonade. This was what would make the next batch all the more potent. He forces off the lady's pants and underwear and salvages the wet load in her drawers. He puts it into the pitcher of lemonade and then pauses time finally as the lady was really starting to protest. Repeats the process of making the lemonade in the lady's mouth by coming in her mouth with lemonade ingredients and making her come directly into the pitcher. Mixing it with a few more lemons and sugar, Marcus takes a sip. His lips pucker up from the sour lemon and he smiles, knowing that he's ready to go on to the next town. He didn't even need more than one customer in this town to get a lemonade sour enough for the next one. Marcus comes one last time in the lady's mouth without lemonade this time, just to sexually harass her, as he rolls his cart out of town in pursuit of some place he could stay longer than 45 minutes. His lemonade was just so goddamn good. End.
I said, hey, Mr. B. I said, hey, Mr. B. Why's your name?